So that's what we're up against right now. We're up against billionaires, and oftentimes, like, we're paying more in taxes than billionaires. Like, the regular 99% of the people are like, upholding the whole economy of America, but these 1% of the people are getting more and more and more and more resources. And so I agree with you, Miracle. I'm all for the rest of the people organizing. You know, it was one a thing that came out and basically said, like, during the pandemic that average working people lost $3.7 trillion
like
in income. Yes.
Wow.
And that the billionaire class gained during the pandemic $3.9 trillion.
Oh, shit.
Right. And so we're watching this. And so at some point, regular people got to come together and say, like, nah, man, we ain't having it.
I think that's what's happening now with these strikes. Everybody's kind of organizing. You know what I mean? Like, people.
Like they should.
Yeah, absolutely.
I echo the call for a national strike.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we need a national strike to reset our whole entire value system.
Earlier first, national strike.
We need a national strike. I think that we have forgotten why we support workers and why we need workers. And I think that there was the advent of a lot of corporations pushing anti-blackness to say that now that black people are getting some of these good jobs and these union jobs, now it's these jobs are elitist. You don't need these jobs. You don't need these union benefits.
We always catch the blowback and the blame and the fallout.
And as a result of that, now everyone is suffering. We talk about like the advent of AI, but most AI was what? It was black and brown people, the pictures, the models. And now that the AI is going to be replacing these writers and these creatives, there are whole entire shows coming out that's written completely by AI.
Absolutely.
And now that you're going to be replaced, now you see that AI was a threat. But when you thought it was just getting rid of
models,
black models or McDonald's workers, you were okay with that.
True.
When you thought it was making working class people suffer, you're okay with that. And now when you realize it comes for you, I always talk about the boomerang effect. People throw stuff out there thinking it's just anti-blackness and thinking that only black people will be harmed by these things. And they forget that boomerang comes right on
100%.
back and will cut them down too. And so I call for a national workers strike where we have a national workers referendum and we fight for the things that will make us safe. We should not be working 40 plus hours a week. It's still struggling.
True.
I think that they said most people have to work like 80 hours a week to like pay, the rent, for a single bedroom apartment, and nobody is making that. Like
that is a fascinating point and a great point to make.
Yeah, I mean, and like Miracle said, just to highlight, just like the housing crisis right now, like interest rates, rents are jumping up astronomically high all over the country, even in like lower class areas. Like you have rents that are just unaffordable. Everything is just in a state of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just everything is fragile, everything's unaffordable.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's just like this delicate balance that if you're not like really just out here caked up, you're struggling.
Yeah, you're struggling.
Like it doesn't like you can be okay for a month, but next month you might be fucked up.
And then I've been talking to homeowners because I've been thinking about should I buy a home or not.
Yes.
And everybody's talking about not being able to afford their taxes. So even if they have the home, and even if they own the home outright, because of all of the gentrification coming to their neighborhoods, they're not able to afford the taxes on their home. So now they're being evicted, from their homes. And a lot of this is particularly impacting elder communities.
100%, yeah.
So now, like, there is no more generational wealth because nobody can afford it.
Would there be a situation, or do we see a situation where you could organize even like for a national strike is something that I think it's been talked about. I know they've done something similar like in the Bay Area where they've just done a strike where it's like everybody don't work today. We've seen some of that. But would in terms of like, I know people are saying like boycotting streaming services with that, because so many people rely on these services for like some type of entertainment.
Man, we couldn't boycott the NFL.
I couldn't even boycott Kanye for 24 hours.
Come on. Hey, listen.
Looking at you for
like my thing is, I think it has to be gradual.
You don't
right?
have Kanye's on today. You don't have Yeezy.
Yeezys are coming back to Foot Locker. You see that?
They are, but no. When we literally asked people, we said just don't listen to the record for the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because the first 24 hours is the most important. Y'all, hour 25, y'all can do it, and y'all say no. But I think we have to. It has to be incremental.
Yes.
So it has to be like Tuesdays at 2. Don't watch any streaming services.
Yes.
For like 1 hour. I think we have to start building and like mobilizing,
Yes.
and that's what people forget. You have to organize people.
Yes.
You can't just call for a strike tomorrow. I don't think people are going to show
100%.
up. People have to take to build up to these things
Yes.
and get familiar with that. And I think that in the interim, billionaires are going to have to organize themselves and understand that literally, if they just help people live a good basic life, they could go about their billionaire yacht day. I don't know what billionaires do. Like, they wouldn't have to be worried about people eating them if they would just do right by folks.
But I thought they were organized. I thought that's what the Illuminati was. Wasn't that?
Right. Well, they got to come back and do that. Figure out how they're going to give back to the communities.
Yes.
And how they're not going to make people miserable in order to obtain and maintain their wealth.
Yeah, because like you said, I mean, we're very close to that. You know, that scene in Dark Knight Rises where people are just running up into wealthy people's homes. I mean, we're getting really close to that.
Ironically, that was filmed in Pittsburgh.
And so if we, again, like you said, I mean, it would be better for everybody to, you know, I mean, again, like if you have $10 billion, maybe you just take two
Come on.
and kind of redistribute that amongst
But that
working
sounds
class
too much
people.
like socialism. Can't do that.
I mean, again, you know,
Can't have no communism.
The other scenario is we call the orcas, and then now now nobody can go on their yachts, right? We got the orcas ready.
Orchestrated violence.
We gotta organize.
We got to organize.